What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode. Now, if you've been following the community section, a couple of weeks ago I posted a couple of different polls specifically asking you guys which of the superbikes between the Ducati V4S, the S1000RR, or my Aprilia RSV4 you think is the fastest. And 49% of you said that the RSV4 was the fastest, 20% of you said the S1000RR, and 31% of you said that the Ducati Panigale V4S is the fastest. And then a few days later, I was very curious to find out which one of these would earn your money. So I created another poll, and the S1000RR got 20% of the votes, the RSV4 got 46% of the votes, and then the Ducati V4S got 30% of the votes. So there's a lot of things that we need to dissect about why you guys voted this way, and talk to you guys about why the Aprilia RSV4, with all of its issues, seems to be the most popular and the bike that you guys think would earn your money the most. So with that being said, let's take off and talk about all this stuff, because things are about to get really interesting here. And as you can see here, I'm kind of experimenting with a new front-facing camera. Let me know in the comments below if you guys like it or not. It is kind of obstructing my view from the dash, but I can deal with it. If you guys like it, let me know. If you don't like it, also let me know. But anyway, I posted my one-year review of the RSV4, so if you haven't watched that, definitely check it out, because I do talk about the competition. Now, one thing I wasn't surprised about was your reaction to which motorcycle was the fastest. With the 1100cc of the Aprilia RSV4, as well as the 217 horsepower output, it's clearly the faster motorcycle. From 1000 RPM all the way to red line, there's no peaks or valleys, it just continues to keep going on and on. Absolutely no dead spots, and you get that straight out of the factory showroom without having to spend extra money on a race ECU, which makes it amazing. I remember in 2020 when I rode the S1000RR, anywhere between 5000 all the way to redline, it had absolutely nothing, but I think they fixed those problems and you don't have those issues anymore. But I gotta be honest, I haven't ridden the latest and the greatest from BMW, and I haven't ridden the latest and the greatest from Ducati, but I know that the evolution of those two brands continues to evolve every single year, only for one reason, and that's because they have a racing pedigree and they're continuing to race all the way in 2023. And I think that's one reason why Ducati as well as BMW continue to evolve. Unlike Aprilia, they continue to race, and as racing teams they need to stay competitive, and that's why their electronics are constantly being upgraded, that's why their chassis are constantly being upgraded, as well as their aerodynamics. I think if Aprilia had a racing team either in Moto America or World Superbike, we would see a lot of changes done to the RSV4. Maybe in the future they'll create a homologation special, but don't hold your breath about that, because they haven't done it in a very long time, so I'm not exactly sure if they're going to ever do it. But anyway, as far as the S1000RR is concerned, I think at the current moment the S1000RR as well as the Ducati V4S takes the cake when it comes to electronics. As mentioned before, they have to constantly evolve only because they're racing and they want to stay competitive. If you want something that is a complete nerd fest with a million different configurations, then obviously you would go for the BMW. From the 2020 model, 21 model, all the way up to 23, they've made a lot of significant changes, not only to their dash, but as well as their electronic suite. And of course, let's not forget aerodynamics and all that other stuff, just to stay current in Moto America as well as World Superbike. So as I mentioned before, I'm not exactly surprised that you guys voted that the RSV4 is the fastest, but I am very surprised that you voted that the RSV4 is the best-selling superbike in 2023. One thing I'm not sure about is, because I own an RSV4, could it be that my fans are a little bit biased? I'm not exactly sure, but I made two separate polls, and on both polls things were pretty congruent. One reason why I think the Aprilia RSV4 is probably the best-selling one is probably because it's the least expensive and you get the most for your money. And I think the Aprilia engine is probably the most exciting engine that's out there, because not only does it provide a gawping amount of torque, but this thing sounds absolutely ridiculous when you put an exhaust on it. Even out of the showroom floor, when I had the stock exhaust, I couldn't believe how good this thing sounded. And I think that's primarily one of the reasons why people buy the Aprilia, because it sounds so damn good. You don't buy an Aprilia with your brain, you buy an Aprilia with your heart. I think buying an Aprilia is purely an emotional decision. At the dealership, when it's time to whip out your wallet, logic tells you that buying the Aprilia is not a good idea, simply because it's really not a reliable motorcycle. Some might call me biased because I own one, but I've made several videos about its unreliability, and I really don't care, simply because I'm not sponsored by Aprilia, I'm not paid by anyone. I bought this motorcycle with my own money, and you know what? I want to create honest videos for the public, so this way they can get a real perspective of what Aprilia ownership is like. Now let me change the subject for a second and talk about the mods market. One reason why I think that the Ducati doesn't sell as well as the S1000RR or the Aprilia is because of the mods. A simple exhaust for the Ducati V4S, which is an already expensive motorcycle, for the V4 model, you're looking to pay $25,000, and that's not including tax or dealer fees or anything. Excuse me for a second while I indulge myself. Oh baby. Oh my god, I forgot what I was talking about. Exhaust, yes, for the Ducati V4S. The V4S base model for the V4, $25,000, and if you want the V4S, you're looking to pay $32,000 or $32.99 or $32. I forgot how much it is. It's a ridiculous number. Anyway, expect to pay $5,000 just for an exhaust. So you're already buying a $25,000 bike, and then with the exhaust you're looking at a $30,000 bike. Now imagine if you bought the V4S. So that's just an exhaust, but think about other parts for the motorcycle. So if you catch my drift, the Ducati is already very expensive. And then when you want to mod it out, because no one rides a stock motorcycle, right? Everybody mods it out. You're looking at a very, very expensive purchase. And I think that's one reason why the Ducati doesn't sell very well. As far as the S1000RR is concerned, I'm going to put that motorcycle in the same category as like a Japanese motorcycle, despite it being from a German manufacturer, because parts are relatively the same cost as an Aprilia RSV4. But the Ducati, man, come on. They're charging an arm and a leg for spicy meatball exhaust systems, man, directly from Italy, and that's ridiculous. Let's go, man, me and you.
What's going on, man? You want to race?
I don't know, guys. I'm just going to be honest and tell you what I think. I think the S1000RR is a technical marvel. It's a complete nerd fest when it comes to technology and electronics. One thing that BMW is very known for, and they started out with cars originally, is that if you take a look at any of their M cars, it's got a million different settings for just one simple little thing. And they've carried that over to their motorcycles. And then of course you got the evolution of the chassis as well as the aerodynamics. They keep pushing the boundaries because they need to stay competitive. That's their selling point, and that's why you should buy it, because it's currently at the peak of technology. As far as Ducati is concerned, I'm going to put them in the same category as the S1000RR, because they're competing in Moto America as well as World Superbike. They need to stay competitive, but I think BMW takes the cake as far as electronics are concerned, because if you're interested in changing every little nook and cranny of your bike, that's the one to get. And then you got my Aprilia RSV4. It came out in 2021, and it hasn't been changed because Aprilia has no incentive to change it. You guys voted it's the best-selling superbike at the current moment. They already know the market, and they already know that this bike is selling the most simply because it's priced right. No one really cares about 50 different settings for this, for that. No one cares about little things here and there that are changed. They just want a raw motorcycle that they can ride on the street and look cool riding it, and maybe occasionally do the track day here and there. And I think that's why the Aprilia sells the most, and I think that's why you guys like it the most and think it's the quickest. And now it's your turn. Between all the superbikes, why do you think that the Aprilia is the best-selling superbike at the current moment in 2023? Leave a comment down below, because I'm really curious to find out what your thoughts are on this. And with that said, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Thank you for watching. Peace.